the grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light, little flock of laters. Yesterday we were talking about the mark of the beast and how ultimately it boils down to two choices for every individual. The choice of who you're going to serve. When you're here in the flesh, you have certain needs like eating, drinking, clothing, shelter. All you who are listening to this video understand these things. And because you have those needs, you have a choice of how to supply those needs for yourself. And I want you to consider right now that we're talking about self. You see, how to view yourself. That is what Yahusha is really concerned with when it comes to you. And you can't view yourself any kind of way without the name of the Father. Don't you see it? The name of the Father is the door that you enter to describe how you think or feel about yourself. Because the scripture says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. You see that, little flock? So the Father's name is the door that opens to that place where you think and feel about your state of being. You see that? Who you are, what you are. Yahusha came to make that clear to you so that you could live correctly. You understand? So that you could have life, he said, and have it more abundantly. We're going to get into that today. We're going to get into quite a few scriptures. So get your swords ready because we want them sharp. See? We want them nice and good and sharp. So as we see through the scriptures, as we go through it, we see that man has a struggle. Israelites were struggling when they came out of Egypt with understanding the new way of how to eat. And you know that's what it is because they were given manna as a miracle. So you see what I mean? They were used to laboring for their daily bread. And so Abba gave them a new way, which was by faith. Knowing that the Father knows you have need. See how Yahushua was talking to us all? The Father knows what you need before you ask him. But you're living as though the Father has no idea of what you need unless you tell him. The Father doesn't know what state you're in unless you let him know. No, the Father already knows. You see? He already knows. Because everybody who's living is taking his name. So he knows your state. He knows your circumstance. You see it? But for some reason, men forget that and think they have to go along taking care of themselves. And when you start to have this mentality of taking care of yourself, then you lose sight of the commandments. You lose sight of the kingdom of heaven. You lose sight of what's actually important. All your concern is about yourself. And if all your concern is in this world is about yourself and how you can eat, have a place to stay, drink, have clothes to wear, if that's all your mind is consumed with, then you're, as the scripture said, like the Gentiles who seek after all these things. But you, so if you're thinking about all those things, then you're not the but you part of what Yahushua is about to say here, are you? Nope. You're like the Gentiles seeking after all these things. But you seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. What is the kingdom of heaven? Well, what are the commandments you must keep in order to enter it? You must love each other. You see that? You must work no ill to your neighbor. Do you notice how your focus comes out of yourself and starts to focus on your neighbor in the kingdom? But when you're thinking about what am I going to eat, are you thinking about your neighbor? It's very simple, guys. If you're thinking about what am I going to wear, are you thinking about your neighbor? If you're thinking about where am I going to live, are you thinking about your neighbor? No. Your mind is completely consumed with selfishness, with getting for yourself. Clothing, money, houses, cars, all that is outside of yourself. But all of your attention is on it. All your attention is on that, to gather that, to get that, to acquire the best of that type of stuff. So if your mind is on focusing on acquiring the best of that kind of stuff, then, like the scripture says, you're like the Gentiles who only think about that stuff. You're like godless people who only think about physical, fleshly things. You see? So there are two. So then, if you're one of those people who have been living your whole life working and laboring in Egypt for your daily bread, then are you used to receiving manna to eat? Do you guys remember the scripture that says, make me neither rich nor poor, but give me my daily bread? So that goes right in alignment with what Yahushua said when he said, take no thought for your life. Take no thought for tomorrow. See? If you stop thinking about tomorrow, that cancels out a bunch of unnecessary vain thoughts that you have and vain imaginations about tomorrow that you have. Because you don't know what today holds. You don't know if you'll even make it to tomorrow. But since you're carnally minded, you see, you're not spiritually minded. You don't have peace about a circumstance. Peace only comes when the circumstance is dealt with. When there isn't any more threat or any more issue. The issue is dealt with. For instance, if you're sick and then you're healed, now you have peace about it. But as long as you're sick, you don't have peace. You don't have life in peace. You have death thoughts, death feelings. In other words, carnal mind. Don't you see it? Don't you see it? So like I said, there are two that you guys can choose. Just like the Israelites had a choice. Egypt or God. Just like the Israelites had when it was Rome or Yahusha. And what did they say? We'll go back to Egypt. What did they say again? We'll go, so we have no king over us but Caesar. See? Now, why do you think that is, guys? See what I mean about these two worlds? Why do you think the Israelites preferred Egypt and they preferred Caesar? Why? It couldn't possibly be because Caesar, which is the Romans, and the Egyptians had much wealth. That couldn't be why, huh? Because they had a lot of apartments you could live in and housing. That couldn't be why, huh? They had a lot of malls and stores and places where you could go and buy a lot of changeable apparel. That's why you like that place, because it looks like the land of abundance. It looks like it has everything one would need. What would that be today? What place on the earth is sought after by immigrants from all over the world? They come here and they call it the melting pot, specifically because so many people from so many different nations come here. Now, is this nation that I'm talking about, is it poor? Or would it be the superpower on the earth, which is the most wealthiest nation? So do you see how because of the wealth of that nation, people flock into it? They don't flock to poor nations, do they? Do they? All right, then. Why do they flock to these nations? You just answered your own question. Because of the wealth of these nations, because of the seeming power of these nations. You see? Now, what is Egypt doing today? They ain't doing shit. So then why did you trust in them, Israelites? Because it looked like they were such a great, powerful nation. Now what does it look like? Well, it doesn't look like anything. Yeah. Because as long as you walk by sight, you're judging wrong. So I just proved to you guys that people are judging wrong today, coming to a nation that they perceive to be wealthy, rich, and free, full of all the good wealth and abundance and milk and honey one could ask for. And then they get over here and find out, no, it's just a slave plantation. That's all that it is. Well, don't you think they found that out in Egypt? So is there anything new under the sun? Don't you think they found that out during the Roman occupation? All the wealth that the Israelites had while they were wandering over the Romans came in and took the shit. All the wealth the Israelites had, the Romans took it. They even made an Arch of Titus to depict themselves taking your shit. But they're so great. They're so wonderful. They got all the money. Yeah, they even took yours, dumbass. They even took yours. And we're going to get into that too, about why it was taken. Don't you see this little flock? So let's get into some scriptures, y'all. Like I said, it's quite a bit to get into. But first, we're going to start at the scripture that we were talking about yesterday in First Kings. So let's go there. First Kings chapter 10, verse 23. We're going to start there. First Kings chapter 10, just one little verse, verse 23. Well, we're going to read two verses out of there. The same two verses that we read yesterday. So some of y'all should be familiar if y'all been paying attention in class and y'all wasn't snoring. All right. First Kings 10:23. So King Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth for riches and for wisdom. That's what we call the best of both worlds. I remember I told you there are two worlds. So now you just got a glimpse into both of them. He exceeded them in riches and in wisdom. Those are the two different worlds. Those are the two monies that are available to you, man. I want y'all to hear this nice and good because I ain't playing with you and I ain't lying. I'm being 100 with you right now. Those are the two currencies available to you. Wisdom and money, riches. Now, what did Christ say about those two things? Did he say, woe unto the poor, or did he say, woe unto you rich? Which one did he say? Which kind of man left sorrowful? The rich man or a poor man? It says the rich man left sorrowful because he had great riches and he couldn't come up off of them. See what I mean about selfishness? You guys don't hear that? That was his problem? But he said he kept the commandments, guys. Right? That's what he said. And then Yahushua said, all right, we'll do this thing then if you want to be perfect. Since that stuff you talking about don't make you perfect, this will. Don't be selfish. Don't be selfish. But I got all this material stuff. So who do you serve really? While you say you serve God and keep God's commandments, you have just proved to everybody that you actually serve Mammon. That's who you love. See that there, little flock. So we see Solomon exceeded everybody in both worlds. You see? And like I said, this was done for our sakes, so that we wouldn't go chasing after Mammon. This is why Solomon fulfilled this for us, the foolishness of a king as well as the wisdom of a king. What does a king on either side look like at its pinnacle? So Solomon fulfilled the king of wisdom at its pinnacle, what it would look like, be like, and you saw it was peace. See, because the spiritual mind is life and peace. But we also see the foolish side of a man chasing only mammon, material, gain, and getting. And he had to be because it says he got more than everybody else and exceeded everybody else in it. Don't you see? So he showed us that it was vanity. That's the point, guys. That's what he said. He said it was all vain. I had more riches than any of you niggas could possibly imagine getting. And that number came to a certain number. And y'all are going to get fooled at the end times with that same damn number because y'all all want the number. In other words, y'all all want the mark of the number of his name. Y'all want to be rich. See what I'm saying to you? Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be rich. It's just, what type of rich do you want to be? What money are you chasing after? What money have you stacked up? Because Yahushua said there's two types you can. He said there's riches on earth and then there's riches in heaven. Now, where is wisdom? Okay, then, where are riches? So then it's very simple here, guys, isn't it? Now, just like we were discussing yesterday, it says his riches exceeded all the other kings on the earth. So he was the wealthiest. And what did his riches come to? What was that number, guys? Let's get it. 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 14. Just go up about 9 verses and you'll see it up there. Now the weight of gold, listen good, little flock, that came to Solomon in 1 year, so his annual income, see, was 600, 60, and 6 talents of gold. Talents of gold. You see that? So 660 and 6. Don't you see it? That's the amount that exceeded everybody else's amount. Is it any different than the one in the end I told you guys about that gave you guys a mark that said, hey, come get this mark, guys. You can't buy or sell without it. You can't acquire shit without this mark. Shit. Richie Rich's mark. Don't you guys want it? Don't you want to be rich too? Well, there's two worlds, it says here. It says, don't stack up riches here on earth. So then you're trying to lure me into a pit, aren't you? Well, don't you want to eat? This is what he does. Don't you need to pay your bills? Don't you don't want your wife out on the street? You don't want your kids out there begging, do ya? Look how the stress he tries to put on you. Look at the illusion and look how thick it is, guys. I know why you all doing what you're doing. I know. You just want a good life. I understand it. But there's a way to obtain it. And y'all want to go every other way than the way. There is only one way to obtain the thing you seek for. But y'all think it's going to get the material things are going to give you the eternal happiness that you seek. It won't give you eternal happiness because it itself is not eternal, guys. Don't you know you need something that is eternal to give you eternal happiness? You're going to get eternal happiness with something temporary. That's what you're telling me? But that ain't possible, and you know that. So stop chasing things which are temporal, because the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. So the true riches that a man bears in his pockets, can you see them? No, you can't. And that is the upside down, backwards world I have told you that you've been living in. It is explained perfectly through that. The fact that you think a man is not rich because he doesn't have paper dollars with an inscription on it. That's the type of money that we were told to turn from and to focus on the real money. And then everything else will be added to our lives, including that other inscription and everything else that we need to survive. It'll come to us if we seek the real riches, but people deny the real riches for the paper riches, and they seek only after that, and they love it. Well, what does it say about that? The love of what? See? And people don't like that because they love money. So they hate hearing that verse, and they look for a loophole out of that verse. No. It just means all you do is just chase money. Ain't that what you do? Oh, yeah, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, kind of. But I do other stuff, too. You need money to live, man. See? First thing they start arguing. You need money to survive, man. Okay. One gives life, and money can't. We read that yesterday. We're going to read it again today. So then how the hell do you think you need money to live if money doesn't give life? See how stupid that is to say? But people don't know it because they're in their ignorance. And I understand it. Because in this world, you got a stack of money. It gives you an illusion of power. You stack that shit on the table and somebody goes, here, give him what he wants. Give him first class service. Shit. Yeah, you put $500 in a man's hand. He's ready to get on his knees, man. But you give him eternal riches and he throws it behind his back and he stumps it. Swine, they turn and rend you, and dogs, they swallow down and then they vomit and they eat their own vomit. And you see it? So the weight of gold was 606. You see that? And we found out that it exceeded everybody else's. All right. Now this is a little bit of recap from yesterday, but we're going to explain why. Ecclesiastes 7:12. It says, for wisdom is a defense and money is a defense. See how it's only talking about them two things? Like I told you, those are the two currencies. You notice it hasn't changed from being the two currencies? Now watch this here. Watch this key part. But the excellency of knowledge is, so you get some money, you think you've done good. You get some wisdom, you also think you've done good. But once you've lived for a while and experienced something and have gained knowledge, then you understand money is limited. Wisdom is not limited, but money is. And you start to understand that. You see it, money can't give you everything. It can give you a lot. But let's see what it can give you. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. So in order to have it, you had to get it. See what I mean about the word get? Remember that? I told you guys about Cain's name. Cain means to get or acquire. See? See? So every man's going to get something. But what is he going to choose to get? Money or wisdom? Well, if you have knowledge along with your wisdom, then you're going to say wisdom is the better currency. It's the better riches to stack up. And wisdom is eternal. It doesn't depreciate in its value. Once I have learned something and added it to my list of learned things, then I'm better than I was before I learned it. I'm better. So I'm constantly getting better the more wisdom I obtain. Don't you see it? So my life is becoming more abundant because of the wisdom that I'm stacking up. As I learn more and gain more wisdom, I stack up more riches in heaven. Therefore, I am higher. I am more elevated. I am more emboldened. I am more faithful. I am more, say it's all about more and better. You see? Every dollar of wisdom I get, I'm better. And my dollars don't decrease. They don't depreciate. See? But what about money? Well, you used to buy a bag of chips that cost 99 cents. It was a big bag of chips. Now you get that same bag of chips, it's $2.50. So the same defense, see how what I mean, how subtle it is, how subtly it's tricking you. It's just slowly growing, slowly growing. That's what a snake does to get near you, to bite you. It slowly moves in. It slowly creeps and creeps till it's right up on you. That's what inflation do. It slowly creeps up until it explodes. In other words, strikes. And when it strikes, you're dead. You're dead. You see? So when it explodes, you're dead. I saw a video the other day of a young lady. She's on there talking about people have let her down. So she's given up on people. But one thing she's learned is that money won't let her down. So she's all about money now. Is it wrong that I love money? Read your Bible and see. Read your Bible and see. But you see how she has said people have let her down, as if she has never let anybody down in her life. But people have let her down, so she's just done with people. I'm all about money now. So that's the most important thing to you. So there's only two worlds you can choose, wisdom or money. You've made your claim. Let's see how it does for you when the market crashes. Let's see how it doesn't let you down when the market crashes. Let's see. If you have $1 million around you that is now valueless, let's see how you feel about that money. Let's see if what you trusted in did you well. Because Abba said, on the day of affliction, your riches will not deliver thee. So can you hear it? You see what I mean? You're running to money for a refuge to save you and give you as she said, the lavish comforts and good things of life. See, I want top tier shit. That's her words. So money gonna give it to me. No, wisdom gives it to you. But you don't want wisdom. You rather have money. Okay, so what happens when the money's cut off? Do you control the money, sister that's talking? No, you don't. Somebody else own that. The inscription that's on there tell you who run it. Or else they wouldn't have put their picture on there. Men are prideful. See? Why you think Julius Caesar put his face on his money? Now, how many Caesar coins do you guys got in your hand today? Look at the tomfoolery of it all. Look at it. Yahusha said, whose inscription is on it? They said Caesar's. So how come you don't have any money with Caesar's face on it today? Because it depreciated in value and it fell away. That's why. Just like these paper dollars are going to do the same damn thing that y'all are stacking up. See? Now, we just found out money don't give life. You see that? So wisdom excels money. Those are the two worlds that y'all have a choice in getting. See? Now, let's go to John. Hold on here. I want John 10:10. Let's go to John 10:10. The thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come. See how it's not I have come or I came. I am come. You notice that? I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So now, if you consider, what does he mean? He came to give us life and give it more abundantly. Well, then what did he say to us? Stop worrying about money. Stop worrying about bills. Stop worrying about eating. Stop worrying about you. Focus on loving your neighbor as yourself. How about you focus on that? How about you be a servant to your brothers? How about that? In these the words of Yahusha, as I have done to you, do you unto your brothers. See? So he's brought us out of this old way of thinking, of carnality, of chasing mammon, worrying about money. He brought us out of that to how to live free. Did he not, little flock? So then has it changed today? No, it's the same old issue people are struggling with today. They're faithless, so they chase after money. You see? Because they lack faith in the truth. That would set you free from that. But he said, I come that they may have life. Now, what did we just heard gives you life? What did we just read? Wisdom does that. So then what did Yahusha, what's the currency Yahusha got in his pockets that he was walking around with? Now, did he hold the bag? No, he didn't. Out of his group of men who held the bag, it wouldn't happen to be the same rascal, the same son of perdition, the same name that Cain had. Son of perdition. Who was that? That was Judas Iscariota, right? Judas Iscariot. I'm too scared of it. Judas, I'm scared of it. Y'all hear me today? Judas, I'm scared of it. Shit, I'm scared of the truth, man. Money is the thing. I'm chasing after money. It said he held the bag and bare what was put therein. So what was his love? What was his desire? What did he love getting? Money. That's why when the lady broke the spikenard bottle and poured it on Yahushua's feet, he got indignant and said, we could have sold that. You shall not buy or sell unless you have the mark. We could have sold that. A man cannot buy or sell unless he has the mark. We could have sold that and given it to the poor. The scripture says not that he cared for the poor, but that he held the bag and bare what was put therein. He just wanted to put that money in the bag and then lie and said he was going to do something for the poor with it. He had no intention of that. So he loved money. And did he sell his master out for that very thing? So then, guys, what do you think it is? What you think the mark of the beast is? If the mark of the beast was was Judas going in there, Satan entered into him, which is what's going to happen to the Antichrist in the end days. Satan entered into him and he sold his brother out for gain, for 30 pieces of damn silver he got. It was money he got in exchange. So then what is the Antichrist going to sell all you guys out for? Gain. Money. You think it's something else. Okay. Keep thinking it's something else then. Keep on running out there thinking it's something else. I'll just prove to you what it is. Satan entered into Judas, and Judas went out there and did what he did. But he didn't do it before Satan entered him. So then what happens when Satan enters the Antichrist? He gonna sell out the real Christ and set him up for death. The truth, that is. He's gonna crucify the truth in place of a lie. Money. Money is what's the important thing. Money, money, money. Uh-oh. The money didn't give you what you thought it was going to give you, Judas. It didn't give you life. You died. You hung yourself. See what I mean? Because when you choose to chase after money, you're killing yourself. That's what you're doing, because you're turning away from wisdom when you do that. See? All right. Let's go to Matthew 13. Now watch this saying that Yahushua is going to say here. And then I want you to ponder on what you guys think he means before we give you the interpretation of it. And the disciples came, Matthew 13, start at verse 10. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever has, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath. Did you guys hear that, little flock? So there's some money being discussed here, or in wealth, in other words. Yahushua divvies the wealth out through parables. I told you he came bearing gifts. He got hella wealth. He rich as hell. You see? He rich. So he came bearing the gifts. Well, when he hands them out, only certain people can receive them. Well, who do you think the people that receive them are? It says, he who hath. Just like he said, he who has an ear, let him hear. See, he who has. In order for it to have, it had to be given, as we just read. They weren't given that. Well, how did you get it? I saw it. See what I'm saying to you? Just like you chased money. The gifts and the money is wisdom. We just read that. We just discussed it. They're the same damn thing, synonymous with one another. Wisdom and money. They're both currency. You see? And so he said, the currency that I have is only meant for those who have wisdom and understanding. They're the only ones who can receive it. You have to have wisdom and understanding to break down a parable and to find the deeper meaning through the layers of what I've said. That's why I said it that way. You see it? Those that are chasing money will only hear carnal things, so they don't perceive that as wealth, so they can't understand it. That's why I do it, you see? So whoever has, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. So whoever has what? wisdom. With all you're getting, get understanding. So if you have wisdom and understanding, then you will be given more. Just like I told you guys earlier. Oops, I learned something more. Now I'm higher. Oops, I learned something more. Now I'm higher. Oops, learn something more. Now I'm higher, wiser, better. Constantly growing, constantly expanding. You see? That's what you want to do with your money. You see how it's no different what I'm saying to you? You get some money, you try to invest it, you try to make it expand and grow more and bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm doing the same thing, but I'm doing it with the greater riches. That's all it is. You see? All right? And he finishes by saying, have not. So if you don't have wisdom and understanding, from him shall be taken away even that he has. So even the things that he has, what he seems to have, will be taken away from him because he doesn't have wisdom and understanding. So he can't retain anything that he has. You see it, guys? Because when the thief comes, he's going to rob him of it. See? Because he don't have no wisdom and he don't have no understanding, which are the greater riches. You see? Matthew 25. Start at verse 14. Matthew 25. For the kingdom of heaven, verse 14, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. Didn't I tell you guys this? Yahushua came with a whole bunch of money. And he gave that money, he divvied it out to his servants. Isn't that what we just read? And unto one, so one of his servants, he gave 5 talents. Isn't that the same word we just read in Solomon back there in the beginning of this video? 666 talents of gold. So it's about money. So he gave him 5 talents, but he didn't give him 5 talents of money. He gave him 5 talents of wisdom. See that there, because that's the currency he deals in. See? 5 talents, and to another 2, and to another 1. To every man according to his several ability. You see, he gave every man according to what he was able to do. And straightway took his journey. Immediately he dipped out. He left. He said, here y'all guys go. Here go your gifts that you got. Pew! See what they do with that stuff I gave them. See? Now let's see what they did. Then he that had received the 5 talents, see, he got wisdom, went and traded with the same. See, iron sharpens iron. So he started studying. He started gaining more wisdom and more knowledge from others who also had talents, who were using their talents to spread the good news. See? So he learned and he gathered more and made them other 5 talents. Now he got 10. See what I mean to you, little flock? He used the 5 talents that he had to gain more. Ain't it easy? Wisdom begets more wisdom. See? She's justified of her children. See? And likewise, he that received 2, he also gained other 2. He did the same thing. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's, what it say? See, little flock, I ain't playing with y'all. Told you I wasn't. Sometimes it be sounding like I am, but I just be telling you the truth. You see? He hid his Lord's money. So what's the Lord's money? Wisdom. The Bible been telling you that since the beginning. That's why Solomon exceeded in riches and in wisdom. The 2 things that men chase for. One or the other. You can only serve one of those masters. We're going to get that scripture too. All right. So he hid his Lord's money. And after a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. Said, what you do with the talents I gave you? And so he that had received 5 came and brought other 5, saying, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. I doubled up. His Lord said unto him, well done, thou good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Been faithful over a few, I'm going to make you a ruler over many. In order to rule, you have to have wisdom. That's what Solomon asked for. See what I'm trying to say to you. And then what did Abba say to Solomon? He said, because you didn't ask for riches, because that's what men commonly ask for. But since you didn't ask for that, I'll go ahead and give it to you anyway. See, guys? What did he seek first? Wisdom. But he got both. So you guys just want to chase after money and forget wisdom, and you think you're going to get both? No, it doesn't work that way. You got to chase wisdom, or as Yahweh said, what? Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and the rest shall be added. Like Solomon. that there, little flock? All right. Ruler over many things, and enter thou into the joy of the Lord. Then he who which received 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art a hard man, verse 24, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid. And I see how he was afraid. So the fearful and unbelieving shall not enter into the kingdom. This is what he said. The kingdom is like. See? So he's fearful. Well, let's see what happens to him. Let's see if he remains in the kingdom. Let's see. I was afraid, and I went and hid thy talent, your talent, in the earth. Lo, there thou hast, that is thine. I hid it. His Lord answered, said to him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, you knew that I reap where I sowed not, and gather where I have not strawed, and you oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchangers, and then at my coming I should have received my own with usury. So I would have got my money back with some interest on it. Ain't that what y'all do in the world? See? Make it increase. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which have 10 talents. Who got 10 talents of wisdom, he gonna take that one that man had. Give it to the one that got 10. He don't deserve it. Give it to the one that do deserve it. So he gained more. See how it happens when you chase after wisdom? Everything's zapped to you like a, what they call that? Like a bug zapper. The bugs just come to the shit like a moth to a flame. You see it? All right. Watch verse 29. He already said this in the other place we just read. Let's see if he says it again. See how important it is. For unto everyone, 29, that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. Didn't he just prove it to you? So if you get some wisdom, you're going to increase more in wisdom. That's just the way it is. You will increase if you utilize it. Like, I'll give you an example of what I mean. People have been reading the Bible. Now, here comes this so-called poor man living in Detroit here at this abandoned building right here around here, talking to you guys. And he says, guys, have you ever heard of the grandson part of the story? See, that's wisdom talking to you right there. Because you're not going to be able to deny the truth of what I tell you. But you never heard it, like I said. So then you go, no, I never heard of that. Oh, well, let me tell it to you. And then I teach it to you. And then you start to go, well, damn, he started with one thing, one talent of wisdom, which was, have you heard of the grandson? And from that question, I have exploded in wisdom through the scriptures now. My understanding, see, has exploded of the scriptures now that I heard what this man got to say. Asking me about one damn question. Have you heard about the grandson? You heard about the branch? Well, let me explore the scriptures with you real quick and show it to you. And now your wisdom has grown and expanded from one little thing. That's what the host is talking about there. You see that? But if I had hid that out of fear, look, guys, look what I'm saying to you. When he revealed to me about the branch, now I go forth boldly preaching it. But if I was unbelieving and fearful, I would say, there's no way I'm that man. There's no way. So I'm just going to hide this and keep this to myself. And he's going to come back pissed off saying, why didn't you tell them what I told you to say? Because I knew you were a hard man, and I knew you wanted me to do it perfect, so I didn't want to make any mistakes, so I didn't even do it at all. Faithless and perverse, get away from me. How long shall I suffer thee? See what I mean, little flockulators? See what I mean with little flockulators? All right, so he said the same thing twice. So if you don't think it's important, then why would he say it twice? If you got, you're going to get more. But if you don't got, then even what you seem to have will be taken from you. That's simple. 30, and cast you the unprofitable servant into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Weeping and gnashing of teeth means sorrow and regret. That's what it literally means. So sorrow and regret. Let's see. That man that had those riches. Look how I go, little flock. Look it. We got the lasso in our hands, swinging it around, throwing it around the bull's neck, about to snatch his ass down and tie his ankles together. He thought he was running free. We're about to catch his ass. You see it? Weeping and gnashing of teeth. Sorrow and bitterness and regret. That's what gnashing of teeth is, regret. So now that man that had those riches, he came to him and said, I kept all the commandments. He said, well, give all your riches to the poor. And he couldn't do it. He left what? Happily? He left sorrowful. See, weeping and gnashing of teeth. He regretted it. Whew, good gracious, wisdom. Crieth in the streets. Can you hear it? When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them from another, as a sheep divideth his sheep from, the shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. So this separation he's going to do, if you want to, but we'll jump on ahead for time's sake. When this separation from the sheep from the goats are people who didn't have brotherly love and didn't care about their neighbors. He explains that if you continue to read it. The sheep are the ones who fed the poor, who covered people who didn't have no covering, who sheltered people who had no sheltering. They showed hospitality and brotherly love. Those are the ones that he accepts. But the ones who were hating, being selfish, they're goats. See the difference between, that's the difference. You guys think it's some other kind of difference. That's the difference. He's going to tell you if you go ahead on and read it. You see. All right. Now where we at now? Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. You see how I did it right there again? How it doesn't change from those two choices you got? It's the same two damn choices. It never changes. So now, like I mentioned that girl earlier that said, I love money. I'm just going to give all my attention and my adoration and love to money now. Fuck people. See what I'm saying there? She hates the other then. So if you love money, what's the other that you hate? It said there, God. It said there, God is who you hate. God is who you despise when you love money. It ain't no other way around it. We just read it. You can't do both. You can't serve God and money. You cannot do it because chasing money causes you to be selfishly minded. Chasing God causes you to be selflessly minded. In other words, one is carnal and one is spiritual. One is life and peace and one is death. You guys figure out which ones they are. So that made it clear that there are two, and it's always the same two. It was the same two mentioned in Kings. You see? It's the same two mentioned in Ecclesiastes. Riches and wisdom, it said there in Kings. What it said in Ecclesiastes? Wisdom is a defense. Money is a defense. But there's a little thing about wisdom you may want to understand here. You see there? It give you life. All right? Proverbs chapter 9. Proverbs chapter 9. We'll start at verse 10. Watch this here, y'all. The fear of I am, it's the Lord's name. The fear of I am is the beginning of wisdom. Now, explain it for them, grandson, so they don't think you're saying something witchy and crazy. Fearing I am means before I speak the name of I am very careful of how I use that name. Before I wasn't because I didn't know it was God's name. So I just lived using that name in any old kind of way until the law showed me that I was breaking the commandments by taking his name in vain. See, I saw my sin because of the law. So I said, oh, woe is me. I've done it so many times, then I deserve to be dead so many times. But he allowed grace for me to learn the truth of how to use his name correctly. So now I fear that. That's what it means. Okay, I am safe. I am very careful how I use your name. I'm not going to take your name in blasphemous words just because of my circumstance, as if I am. That's your name. Oh, see how selfless you become? This existence is no longer me. Or else I'd lie when I speak about it. I'd say I'm sick. I'd say I'm aching. I would say I'm tired. I'd say I'm weary. I'd say all these things about your name that fit this body. But you're not the body. You're the spirit. So the flesh is weak. Of course it is. But the spirit is willing. So we fight the good fight of faith. We're fighting because the circumstances tell us that our faith will not come to be. So in other words, it looks opposite of what we're claiming inside of ourselves. That's the proof of our faith. That it don't matter what it look like. I'm still gonna claim it. I'm healthy. I'm beautiful. I'm strong. I'm radiant. I'm extravagant. I'm awesome. I'm amazing. I'm the best. See, all things about the Father, not me. See, but the shower of the blessing comes down on this little life here. You see it? That's wisdom for you. All right. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. That's the beginning of being smart there. See? And the knowledge of the holy is understanding. So having wisdom, well, the beginning of wisdom, when you first are introduced to wisdom, you find out the Father's name and how you've been using it. See? Now you don't understand yet, but you grow in understanding. And as you do, you get knowledge of what's set apart. How to use the name with set apart words. See? Holy words. The words that match the Father. See here? Watch this. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. For by me thy days shall be multiplied. By me, who? Wisdom. And the years of your life shall be increased. Wisdom giveth life. Money can't do that, but wisdom can. See there, little flockulators. If you be wise, you shall be wise for yourself. But if you scornest, you alone shall bear it. Scorn means you turn away from what I'm telling you. You don't think it's wisdom. Then go on about your life then. You're going to bear it. You're going to see. As we say, you're going to see. All right then, little flockulators. Go to Proverbs chapter 3. Start at verse 13. Happy is the man. So you gain riches, but you lose your soul. You're going to be happy or you're going to be sorrowful? Well, that rich man, he left sorrowful. So that answers your question. So how do we get happy? Let's find out. Happy is the man that findeth wisdom. Look at this little flock here. Look at this little flock here. And the man that getteth understanding. See, it's about getting. Told ya. That's what I was going to say. Get that stuff, man. Get it like money. Make it grow like your bankroll. You see? Happy is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of it, the value of it, is better than the merchandise of silver. What did Judas use? What did he get for selling out Yahusha? He got silver. He thought it was more valuable, but he found out it wasn't. So he hung from a rope because his ass was cursed. For the merchandise of it, what? Wisdom and understanding is better than the merchandise of silver. So how much silver you got, nigga? Match your silver up to the wisdom and understanding that's over here at the School of Marvelous Light. We're going to conquer your shit. For the merchandise of it is better than the merchandise of silver, and the gain thereof than fine gold. Y'all want to screw around with this or what, little flockulators? What y'all want to do here? So you had a choice, gold or wisdom. Which one is better? It just told you the gain of getting wisdom and understanding is way better than fine gold. Not just little ass gold, fine gold. You see? She is more precious than rubies. Y'all chasing after rubies, gold, and silver and all that shit today. But she more precious than all that shit. And all things that listen clear here, little flock. Please listen good. Read it if you're following along. Read it on that page. And all the things you can desire. So what do you desire today that's material? Lambo? Rolex? Fancy clothes? Fancy cars? Bankroll? Whatever it is. Whatever you can desire. Many women? All the shit Solomon had, in other words. You see that? It says, all of these things that thou can desire are not to be compared unto her. So then what you chasing after? Don't you see that everything you desire that you chase after on a daily basis ain't shit compared to getting wisdom and understanding? Can't you see that? But what do people chase? You will love one and hate the other, it says. They are not to be compared unto her. Length of days, here it is again, is in her right hand, and in her left hand, what's in her left hand, y'all? Riches and honor. And see how you chasing after riches and she got them mugs in her left hand. But you think somebody else got it. It's out there to be found somewhere else. Fuck wisdom. Fuck understand the mysteries of God. I don't care about that shit. I need money to live. Caesar, give me your money. Whatever that inscription is, what is that on that shit? Yeah. America, give me that shit. And God we trust. You said, yeah, I trust God too. Give me that money though. See? Her ways are ways of pleasantness, and all her paths are peace. Did it say sorrow and shit? It says happy, peace. Spiritual minded is wisdom, see? She is a tree of life to them that lay hold upon her. And happy is everyone that retaineth her. So if you find wisdom, will you be happy? You listen to this message. If you find wisdom, will you be happy? Hey, little girl over there in the corner, if you find wisdom, will you be happy? Hey, brother sitting over there fishing, if you find wisdom today, will you be happy? Everybody that find wisdom gonna be happy. Say that. The Lord by wisdom hath founded the earth, and by understanding hath he established the heavens. You see that there, little flockulators? By his knowledge the depths are broken up and the clouds drop down dew. My son, let not them, what? Wisdom and understanding, depart from thine eyes. Keep sound wisdom and discretion, so shall they be life unto thy soul and grace to thy neck. The real jewelry that you wear. Guys, fuck that bullshit they giving you that's temporary. Rock the real jewelry that the grandson got on. Then shall thou walk in thy way safely. Why do you think you'll walk safely once you get wisdom? Because it says the beginning is understanding the Father's name and how to use it. So now I am safe. I don't care how it look, nigga. Matter of fact, I know it look precarious to test me. That's the reason it looked dangerous. It doesn't look dangerous because it is. See how y'all don't understand out there in the world? They think if it looked dangerous, it is. No, it's not. No, it's not. It looked dangerous to try to convince me that it is dangerous. That's the only reason it looks that way. That's the only reason it looked that way. Not because it truly is dangerous. Do you hear that today, little flockulators? So ain't no need of me acting like it's a danger if it ain't one, just because it looked like one. You see? So if something is dangerous to the whole wide world, but yet I know that it is truly not dangerous, then I have wisdom while the whole world is stupid as hell. Don't I, little flock? So then how would I act? Happy and peaceful when I walk past that so-called danger. And everybody else goes, but hey, man, it's danger, right there, danger. Then I walk right past having life and peace because I'm not carnally minded, I'm spiritually minded. I walk by faith, not by sight. You prove you walk by sight by going, look, you fucking chicken. Cluck all the way to the fucking hen house, nigga. And that fox gonna run in there, snatch your ass out and pull your feathers out, nigga, and throw your ass up there a KFC bucket, nigga, with a biscuit next to your ass, dipping that shit in some honey, nigga. They be like, grandson, chill out, bro. They be like, grandson, chill out. Why you talking like that, man? Because of understanding. That's why. Because of understanding. I understand what the hell I'm dealing with. Do you? Look. Look. I don't walk by sight, nigga. So why you telling me to look at it? Because it looks scary, grandson. So then why should I look at it? So that you can save your life from it. Do you follow Yahusha? Yes. Then little flock, y'all know what I'm about to say, don't you? It ain't no need of me even saying it, is there? Because y'all already know what I'm about to say. Whack-a-mole time on this dumbass. If you're scared, go to church, nigga. If you're scared, go to church. You see this? 23. Then shalt thou walk in thy way safely, and thy foot shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. See? Yeah. Thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it comes. See? How it look. Don't worry about all that. For the Lord shall be thy confidence. For I am shall be thy confidence when bad shit is happening. That's going to be my confidence. You guys pick whatever you think is going to be your damn confidence. My confidence is going to be the name of the Father because it has always prevailed. I don't know what you guys have used. Maybe you tried a tool and it sometime worked. Fuck sometime working. Because what if it's that time and it don't work that time? Fuck that. Then I'm dead that time. I need the shit that going to work every time. And what work every time is using the Father's name in truth. So give me something, y'all. Throw something at me. I'm going to listen and see what y'all saying. Grandson, you're hungry. I'm filled. Give me some more. Grandson, you're in danger. I am safe. Give me some more. So I can eat it up like the conquering lion that I am. And I'll burp out the bones and kick that shit down into the ditch. Come on. Feed me some more that I can chew up and transmute. Come on with it. You're lonely. Oh boy, that was a weak ass one. I am surrounded with companions. I am surrounded by an innumerable host. So what you say? Oh damn. You're poor. Wisdom has made me rich with those gifts that she gave me out of her left hand. So what are you talking about? Fucking monkey. Get back in the trees, chimps. Get back up in there. Just like that picture, the nigga was a chimp and come up to a human. That must have been y'all. That ain't how I came up in this damn thing, though. I don't know what y'all drew that picture to mean. I guess that's how y'all came up. Well, go back to where you started. Go back to the damn trees, monkeys. See that there little flock? Now let's see about brotherly love and all this as we continue reading this. Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it. You got a chance to do something good for a brother, do it. But selfishness is going to creep in to steal, kill, and destroy. Nobody else is creeping in, dude. Stop worrying about that red dude that they drew in pictures and shit that you can see with your eyes. It's just selfishness is coming. As soon as you think to do something good, here comes selfishness to try to get you to keep it for yourself. See? Devise not evil against thy neighbor. Love thinketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore, love is fulfilling the law. So, devise not evil against thy neighbor, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. Strive not with a man without a cause, if he have done thee no harm. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. So, in other words, you guys hear this? Live pretty peaceably. Shit, love your brothers, man. Treat them good. The same thing we've always been reading. It says it right there. That's in the Old Testament too, guys, just in case you guys didn't know that. All right. Anything else? Well, this video is kind of long. We almost at an hour now, y'all. So I think y'all get the point of that, don't you? Them the two worlds you got a choice to serve. And if you choose one, then you have now officially hated the other one. So I love I am. So the seal I have on my forehead is the name of the Father, which is I am. So now when I face a circumstance, I don't do anything else. I don't look for any other currency. I don't look for any other help. For Abba is my help. I am. That's all I think about. How to use that name right, because I fear that name. What name do you fear? All right then. So as you can see, it's about saving your life or giving your life up. If you're selfish, will you save your life or save somebody else's? Look how simple it is. But if you're selfless, then will you save your life or somebody else's? Is that even hard to deduce? No, it ain't. It's easy. Silawam Israel.